believe in freedom of speech. If I have to fall on my sword for expressing an honestly held opinion about Meghan Markle and that diatribe of bilge that she came out with in that interview, so be it. Although the woke crowd will have thought, they think that they've cancelled me, I think they'll be rather disappointed when I re-emerge.
Wow. Moments ago, British journalist Piers Morgan speaking out after dramatically quitting his anchor job live on the air following the backlash over his criticism of Prince Harry and Meghan. So is America's cancel culture crossing the pond? Are we to blame? British journalist Douglas Murray comes on here with a great perspective. As you know, he talked about and wrote about madness of crowds. Are we responsible for the wokeness that's now overseas?
I'm afraid there seems to be an element of that. People like me who have always been admiring and friendly towards America are starting to worry about this. American culture wars seem to now be going around the world, and they are epitomized in the form of Meghan Markle, now the Duchess of Sussex. Just over a year ago, the actor Lawrence Fox was on a program in the UK, and he said that he didn't think that Britain was racist. And he said that he thought, what's more, which is true, that Britain had welcomed Meghan Markle into the heart of the British establishment, which was true. He lost everything after that. His agent fired him. He can't work again in acting. And now we see the example of Piers Morgan simply saying something that a lot of people in Britain think, like a lot of people around the world, which is that Meghan Markle was at the very least exaggerating, most likely just lying in a range of things she said in her Oprah Winfrey interview. And for that, now Piers Morgan has lost his job. I never thought I'd have to defend Piers Morgan, but here we are. He's one of the hills we have to die on, it seems.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's on a hit show, revitalized that show, and he's there to give his opinion. He gave it. He got 41,000 complaints, evidently, and including a fellow analyst on the set was going after him. So he goes, I don't need this. I'm walking out. Yeah. Douglas, do you think that he stood up for himself? Is that what's got to happen?
That's exactly what has to happen. You know, what is happening is a set of bullies with a very nasty ideology are pushing their way into everything in American life and now in British life. And what Meghan Markle said was so nasty and insinuating and destructive. She said somebody in the royal family said something about the possible skin colour of their baby. This could be a totally innocuous remark. Just like you say, you know, the father's ginger. I wonder whether the baby will be ginger. It's perfectly possible that somebody said something along those lines to Harry or Meghan at some point. She tells Oprah Winfrey that this is racism. No way is that racism. But she says it is. Now the royal family is racist. And so this claim, this way in which bullyish people in America who have very nasty agendas are trying to push their agenda into everything in American life, they've now done it at the heart of British life. They've now got the monarchy having to defend itself against totally unproved charges of racism. And basically, the royal family have got to do what everyone has to do in America and elsewhere. We've got to stand up to this. We've got to say, no, truth matters. Prove it. Show us that it's true. Don't just assert it. Don't just have millionaires moaning at billionaires on sets in great mansions saying, woe is me, because somebody in the family once said something I've decided is racist, and now I can rake in more millions about it. This is so wrong. And adults across America and Britain have to say, no, we're not playing that game, and we won't have you bully us.
Yeah, and keep in mind, Russia and China, our chief adversary, I would argue, in Iran, they're not going through this cancel culture. They plow through it. I don't want their system of government, but they actually know what the threat is out there. Piers Morgan was on with us a couple of days ago and said this, almost predicting what would have ultimately would happen. Listen.
They're not prepared to countenance people having different views. And I say that as someone who's more liberal myself than not. But this cancel culture, this inability to allow or tolerate anything that you don't believe yourself, it's the antithesis of liberalism. It's the enemy of democracy. And it's got to stop.
And, you know, he's somebody that was over on CNN pretty much battling on the left here. But we were battling. People were talking back and forth. Now people are canceling, which means the shutdown of the speech that allows debate to take place, Douglas. This is what you write about.
Two things. One is these people are going to make the world incredibly boring. We're all meant to be in lockstep, have one view on everything. But the second thing is it allows liars and dishonest actors to thrive. It means that if you just push your narrative, America is racist, Britain is racist, everything about the royal family has now become racist. If you allow this to happen, you allow dishonest people to say things, and you just have to go along with it. No, we cannot put up with that in America. We cannot put up with that in Britain. We cannot be having to put up with every single thing that people insist we dance to. We've got to say, no, we don't believe it. Let's get back to old-fashioned ideas like truth. What's your evidence for your claims, Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex? What's your evidence for it? And there have been times when that's worked very well already, of saying, what are the facts here? Let's get back to an old-fashioned idea like facts, not interpretation, not I think this happened or I am sad about something that I think happened, but prove it then.